And we're live. Start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon. One of the first things we'll have to do is bring the meeting to order, and then we have to elect for 2024 chairman and vice chairman, or chairperson, vice chairperson. So I will leave it to you guys to do that.
I would like to nominate Smokey Graves, Mayor Accountant.
I'll second that.
Do you accept the nomination to be chairman of this
No, I
board?
think I'll pass it this time. I appreciate the nomination, but being new to the board after a 12-year hiatus, I really need to learn at this point. So I respectfully decline.
Anyone else have any nominations? I'll nominate Gail Garner.
Second.
I'll second that.
Well, I feel about the same way as Smokey. I feel like I need to have a little more experience for
Well, it's
it.
a learning process. All in favor? We have a first and a second.
Gil, do you accept?
I don't. Sorry, Becky.
I nominate Randy Clevey.
You beat me
You
to it.
looked at me.
No, can I nominate you, Randy?
I'll second.
Both of them, right?
We got a nomination and a second. All in favor?
Wait a minute. I need a good vice chair because if you look at my record last year, I had so many days that conflict with this date that I could not make the meetings.
I will be a
And that'll
vice
be
chair.
this way again this year.
And I'll
So-
nominate Gail for that. Would Gail take that job? I would.
Okay. Okay, all in favor for Randy Cleveland as chairperson?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays?
I heard that.
Congratulations.
You're on.
Okay,
Okay,
we gotta do vice chair first.
okay.
Let him take her over.
Nominations for
Yeah.
vice chairman.
I'll nominate Gail Garner.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed?
I guess it's
You're on.
my show now.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, I think the minutes was mailed out to everybody, emailed everybody. Have a chance to look at them.
Randy,
They're right here.
Randy, before we approve the minutes or consider them, can I add something under new business or usually we make comments under public comments?
Yes.
Add new business or which one? It doesn't matter, but
Well, you want to just make it
I'll just do it under new business.
new business?
Yeah.
Okay,
Solid waste district operations. That's what I want to add.
okay. Okay. Thought about that, Chris. I didn't-
Oh, that's where, normally it's kind of on there, but then maybe it's not, but
Yeah.
it's okay. No big
Okay,
deal.
well, got you on there. So you want to approve the agenda with the addition on it? I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, got a motion?
Second.
Okay, and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Now, back to the minutes. December 28th minutes. I'll give you a few seconds to look over them if you haven't looked over them yet, and then we'll need a motion to approve. Everything's in line.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Okay,
Second.
got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Financial statement.
The center financials, let you know, did everybody get those yesterday?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
There's one, the one blue sheet that's in there, the state board of accounts like to rebalance the budget, make sure we're not overdrawing any individual lines, so that's the proposed rebalancing. It never really comes up during the audits unless they take that as an item to look at, but that is our proposed rebalancing. You'll see we're still well within the budget, so it nets to zero, just moving between accounts is all it is.
So do we need a motion to accept that rebalancing?
Yes,
request?
separate from the financials, so I'll need two motions tonight, one to approve financials and one to approve the adjustments to the budget.
Okay, we'll take the one with the adjustment to the budget first.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, got a motion
I'll second that.
and a second. Are there any discussions? None. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
And on the financials, there's a piece on that, you'll see on the cash balances. So all of that is now currently sitting in the GAB account. We've got the Trust Indiana accounts open. They just got them linked this week to allow for the quick transfers back and forth. So as of tomorrow, there'll be $175,000 left with sitting in Trust Indiana that will be accruing at higher interest rate. We'll have about $50,000 to $60,000 left in our operating account, which is a month and a half roughly of operating expenses, so we have plenty left in there. As the funds start rolling in this year from dues, we'll keep that balance somewhere in that 50 to 60 range, and then put the rest of it over trusting in to maximize those returns for us.
You got a lot better rate, didn't you?
Last I talked to you, it was over 4. I don't
Yep.
think we've reached 5 yet, but it was close to it.
Mm-hmm.
So Wes, if I'm looking at this properly, 23 ended up with $1,705.
Any other questions for Wes? No, I need a motion to approve the financial statement.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, got a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Director report.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
So we have new members, Mr. Finley, Mr. Graves, and Mr. Garner. I'm Chris Wheeler, I'm the director. We have a couple things. You'll see on your last sheet that I provided you with, there we usually have a little bit different thing, but this year we're gonna change how I present what we've given you, what we've made that month with a different spreadsheet. I now have a laptop, so I'm doing some different things. So today I just kind of threw this together so you have it. You'll see that on all kinds of scrap for tin since the last meeting, which was the 28th of December, in tin, we've received $561, and in metal, which are the large red containers, when you go to the center, you'll see that we have that. That was over $2,400. And in Quincy, which Quincy is the ones that pick up our cardboard and our plastic and we ship with them. Cardboard, we had 2 loads, and that was over $3,000. And that was 2 loads. Right now, it is up to $90 a ton.
It
which
went
is
up,
good.
didn't it?
Yes, ma'am, it's went up, which is a good thing. And also, one thing I provide you with in the meetings is how many visitors we have at each site. You'll see that I only have Hamilton on there, I do not have Branchville. We've had some issues at Branchville that are being corrected. And we have, right now, Branchville is closed because of water damage to the pipes have frozen. And we are not open currently. We will be open Saturday. I'll be there working. The pipes are frozen. Well, going back, Hamilton had 721 visitors and 813 tags. Also, I want to touch on that so you gentlemen know, we sell tags at Walmart, Nobles, and at our office, which we're at the Annex building. And gentlemen, if you have any questions, feel free to call me. I'll get you my cell phone number. You can call me at any time or email at any time.
Do you have all their email addresses?
Yes, I did get that. Oh, I have to get, yeah, okay. So, I lost my train of thought, sorry. With Branchville, the water damage that happened, and Mr. Cole was out there with me the other day, the water pipes froze because the building is not insulated when it was built. There was no heater put in, no furnace, nothing. The only type of heat was you would have to plug in a small little heater and have that right there by you. It's a barn type building with no insulation. So the building, our properties are insured, but they can't do anything for us because there was no heat provided. So it doesn't matter that they were insured. So we have to have this fixed. I have a plumber coming out next week. I have a porta potty that will be delivered tomorrow. I'll meet them out there so that we have a porta potty there. So the site will be open on Saturday. It's normally 8 to 2. I'll see how late I'm there. Because there are people that have called. So we will be busy. I talked to Kenny Simpson. He's gonna come. We had the office part is very tiny. We had already thought of expanding a little bit, being that I might not have an office at the Annex building. We're not looking to spend a lot of money, but the plumber, what they've got to do is what they have to do. We have to get that insulated. We have to get the wall. There isn't even drywall up there. It's more like the subflooring that is on the walls. This needs to be corrected. We do not need mold. We don't need to have a problem. I don't know what the cost and the final cost is going to be, but it needs to be done correctly, and we don't want to have further problems for another. The wind comes from the southwest. That is the wall where the piping is, where the water is on the south wall. I have pictures. I will send them to you now that I have all of your emails. And like I said, Mr. Cole was there, so he can give you more information on that too.
You probably, this is just a suggestion, but a wall heater. People have them in their homes. My stepdaughter has one in her home, and it actually heats,
Yes, it does.
Her home.
I've had one before too.
and that, as long as you keep it at 50 degrees, them pipes are not going to bust.
And, when you're working out there and all you have is a little space heater and that is all you are provided, you cannot plug that in and leave overnight and leave that, that is a fire hazard itself.
Is that the only place it comes in, Chris? The water comes in one spot?
Yes, sir.
And you can't anticipate that it's gonna be freezing that night and turn it on?
We have tried that. It dripping, it just doesn't seem to be because that wind is just coming right
The
at it.
pipes are in the wall.
And there's-
Instead of coming up from the bottom, they're in the wall.
Yeah, it comes up and it's just a metal building. There's no metal building in that. We don't, we had a slight problem last year and we got it fixed without too much of a problem. Now up above, it has frozen and busted the ceiling in the bathroom, which is behind the office. The office is right there. There's the bathroom and the ceiling is bowed. It's ready to collapse.
That's pretty well chipboard, correct? Or
Yes.
what I call chipboard,
Yes,
particle board,
yes,
should have never been put up there.
yes, and that's all that's there.
Mhm.
So with the ceiling bow, it's, that's a dangerous thing too. Hence, there's another reason there is going to be a porta potty delivered tomorrow.
Mhm.
So, then we have, let's see. And Kenny Simpson will be, within a week, I'd say. It's not a great emergency for him to come out, but he will be coming out. With that being said, we do have a problem with illegal dumping. I understand people are frustrated with the site not being open. Illegal dumping is illegal dumping. Mr. Cole was kind enough to help me pull in the 7 or 8 bags that were there. I had asked Mr. Jarbo to go and look at some of the problems we were having at Camilton. And he did a proposal for camera system at Camilton. And he was going to be here tonight to talk about that, but with the issues going on at Branchville, I felt it was better to wait. His proposal was for a camera system that would zoom in on the license plates. So we would know who is illegal dumping also at Camilton. And I do have a camera system that is out at Branchville, but it's a camera system that I had that it is not, high tech enough. I would like to have the same kind of system put out at Branchville, because that will also let me know when someone is coming there, whether it's 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, and when someone shows up for work and doesn't show up for work. That way I get an alert when they're there. There's no question about who's coming, who's going, and it comes straight to my phone. I would like that at both sites. I know that there is, it's not cheap, but in the long run, I feel that handling both situations, illegal dumping and employees, they're coming and going, is an investment that would be worth it for this department.
So what's the cost of Hamilton?
Hamilton's cost is $4,374.
4,300, and how many cameras is that?
That's for 4 cameras.
That's gonna cover your building, your gates and
Yes, ma'am.
everything.
Yes, because we currently found at Hamilton that someone has cut the wire, the barbed wire above the fence. That was, I'm sorry.
A question, and the price of littering, the price of dropping, what does that cost if caught?
It can cost, we have found different codes. It can be a fine up to $2,500. Right now, what we've done in the past, I have called people that I've caught doing it and had them, I've warned them. Now it's to the point we're going to have to fine them.
The same thing happened, Smoky out on Sycamore Road.
Right.
And if anyone's caught dumping out there, it's gonna be a $2,500 fine.
Well, I was looking at the price of the camera as opposed to the fee of dumping.
And I've had people say to me, well, I thought it was Saturday and it was Sunday. And my thing is, if we're not open, we're
Right.
not open.
Right.
The animals, what they get to them, in the one lady that did it, she had needles. She says, but I'm diabetic, but it doesn't matter, it's needles.
Right.
Is
I
it
know.
illegal to put those needles in there anyway?
Yeah, they should have been in a tub, but,
Yes.
and I understand people's frustration. I truly do, and I don't try and dismiss them, but you can't leave garbage out and expect someone to come and pick it up, especially when it's all over. And that's what employees have had to do, go all over and pick them up.
Was it close to the time when you were able to drop recycling and your trash on the Sunday? If it was close to that, I could understand her complaint that I didn't know, we've always dumped there on Sunday. Was Sunday one of the,
No, she thought it was Saturday.
okay, was Sunday one of the best days as far as
No,
accepting trash and recycling?
No, it was out at Branchville, and we're not open on Sundays. But she thought she should have been open because in her mind, it was Saturday.
Okay.
And we've had them do it at Camilton. Because, people are just going to do things because they're going to do them.
Yeah.
We've had this happen at Till City because you can actually drop trash off there during our working hours.
Mhm.
And we don't have it, obviously, we're not working on Saturdays or Sundays, and we actually put up a camera and it stopped that pretty much. If it's happened, they've not told me. So I
And
would assume it's not happening anymore.
Randy saw, we did have signs up and say, the cameras aren't, but my cameras aren't good enough to catch a license.
Sure.
We can see that there's a white Tahoe. But we don't know if another white Tahoe comes in, exactly if it's the same person. I don't have that, but a camera, it's just this. And those that Greg had are, a very good camera that zooms in and will tell you what the license plate number is. And it also trips when someone comes in and lets me know who and when they come in.
Did Greg by chance tell you, is this the same camera system that we have at City Hall and at the school corporation has it? Did he mention that by any chance, or?
He didn't per se say that, he just said, these are what you need and this is what,
It's probably very similar because he installed those at City Hall and I don't know about the school. I think he did,
I imagine.
but he had something to do with it maybe. But they've been really helpful for Tell City. We've had a car actually pull in and hit someone's car and leave. We zoom right in, got the license plate, and the rest of it was taken care of.
Because he said, well, with this,
Yeah.
you can zoom in and you can tell what the plate is.
It's a 30-day, I think it records up to 30 days, and after that, it deletes itself or records over, whatever.
And if there's an accident, if there's something that happens inside, and that's what one of the cameras would be facing, if something happens inside and there's an accident, we have semis that come in, we have people that would help protect. I feel like it's an overall win for anything.
Sure.
And it'd be more accountable for your counts of how many people have been there.
Yes,
Also.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
I got a question. For the new members here on the board, can you give us the hours of Branchville?
Yes,
What's supposed to be?
the hours currently are at Branchville. Tuesday and Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Wednesday, noon to 5. And Saturday, 8 to 2. Now, like I said, this Saturday, I don't know how late I'll be there.
Could you email that out to just the board
Absolutely,
so they have it? I don't know.
absolutely.
I'm sure they'd appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, because there has been some issues at Branchville that hadn't been open, and
Yeah.
I know I'm getting some complaints, and
I have
Randy
too.
has,
Yes,
and all the board members have. So,
I have just become aware of
so
that.
just, if you get a complaint, you'll know the hours, and you'll pass that on to everybody.
Yes.
Part of that is, Chris, that's what some of the frustration is
Yeah.
that we have people in the community that say, and Saturday's probably the primarily worst one, that they put all the trash in, they make the trip over there,
Yes.
and then it's locked. So
Yes,
we need to, whatever the hours are, we need to make sure it's open. You know,
Absolutely.
or a posting, if you know, in the event that you have severe weather or something, I don't know whether you put it on Facebook or where you, somewhere to let them know that because of things outside of your control, you won't be open this day.
Just like with your water lines busting their
yes.
down.
Now, I have, during the week, I have been calling Nicole, and she's been putting it on our page that's on the government page.
Do you have a Facebook?
No.
Yes, I do, and I have been putting it on there.
Yeah,
That's on
it's
the-
probably good because I don't know how many people actually come
Yes,
to the
On the
county
government
site
website.
to stay.
yes, it's, the Facebook page, I had to do a long one, it's Perry County, Indiana. Of course, I turned off my phone because I did not want it to ring, so forgive me. It's Perry County, Indiana.
Do you know Hannah?
Solid waste management.
Solid waste,
Management.
okay.
There's two pictures of their bales, recycled bales. That is the Facebook page, and I put that on there, and I call for Nicole to do it.
Just so people know where to check,
Is
just in
that
case.
IM.gov or is it .com?
That's
or-
Facebook.
It's Facebook.
Oh, Facebook, okay.
And I have been fielding phone calls, and I've had people come in, so.
And see, part of the problem, again, we were out there was 11 bags, so I counted them. I looked at them, no tags on them.
Mhm.
So, again, not only were they dumped, the revenue was lost too. So, it's critical to her organization that people pay for the disposal.
Even if they would have been open, those would have been accepted because they can't buy tags at the Branchville site, can they?
Yes,
Oh, they can.
Mhm.
Oh. Some places don't. I look
Right.
at Spencer County, you have to have your tag. They don't sell them because the money I get that.
Branchville, we do sell tags.
Okay, good to know.
Yes, sir. We.
So it would have had a bottom then, that makes sense.
Yeah, we
Okay.
Sell them at Branchville.
Yeah.
Nobles, Walmart, and
Yeah,
Timber Shop.
you'd said that earlier, I guess it just didn't
It's
register.
okay.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
I don't think I mentioned it. So,
So after Saturday, Chris, what's the plan for like next week?
Tuesday, I'm planning on Tuesday being open.
Just like normal?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So,
The port, like I said, the porta potty will be there, so that will take care of the bathroom. And the weather should be warm enough that we don't really need a lot of heat, and so that should be fine. The,
The water is shut off, correct?
yes. And Jingle Ball will be there at some point next week. They don't know for sure what day. So, you know, we will have to, you know, water, there is a water dispenser, and I'll just have some water in the thing. I mean, we can't use it. We can use the porta potty, but we can't really wash our hands or anything
Mm-hmm.
in there. But, you know, the office we can use. We did check the lights. The lights seem to work without a problem because of the ceiling being connected. We were just concerned about the lighting. But we can plug in to use other lights and not use the ceiling, because there's a ceiling fan with the light. So we'll just plug in other outlets that are not connected to those walls and use those lights. That is how I feel we'll go forward with being able to use that. Or I can use out in the garage and just have people out there. I think that is it for me.
any questions on the director report?
I think that's old and new. Except for
Next one's
Mr.
old business billing.
Billing. So I don't know how we're gonna do our billing for sure, 100%, and we'll do that, but I've got some cards being ordered, and we'll just take it from there. I can always use cards for something else. If we don't use them all this year, then that's.
When do you have to have these out?
They were supposed to go out the end of January right now, but
Okay.
we can extend when they're due, because I'll be getting money from the other things, so, and we've got money, so we'll be okay.
Okay. On this billing, this could probably bring up a couple things here. Your office at the Armory. How would you feel, or how would the board feel about either updating and making the Branchville site bigger with everything that she would need, computer-wise, everything else, or make the site at County bigger? You already have an office there, correct? Was part of an office, let's put it that way.
It's sort of, it would need updating. and-
Yeah, it would need to be bigger and everything else. And that would eliminate the office at the annex. And as far as billing, instead of having, well, you would have to have whatever cities don't go with it, those bills could be paid to their clerk treasurers.
I don't think you can take the money to the clerk treasurers like that. From my research in the solid waste, back when Marietta Dobie was auditor, that the county did get either written up or had discussion with State Board of Accounts that they could not collect the money in the auditor's office. I would say it would probably be the same way if they would try to collect it in the clerk treasurer's office, but I don't know. We need to look into it. But I know that was an issue back in the 90s. That may have
Yes, because
changed.
I think that she needs to be focusing on the recycling itself.
Yeah.
If I know the billing isn't going to be as much as it was because of the county and the city of Canton, but then it would also help you out a lot too. So,
Speaking frankly, if I may,
yeah, go ahead.
the office doesn't cost us anything.
Mhm.
I don't mind having a place at both for when I'm there and being able to do things, because I can spend time at Canton, I can spend time at Branchville whenever I need to be there to work. I have no problem with that. Hannah knows, she can be at Branchville working too. She knows how to run Branchville herself. The only thing is the convenience for people. We do have people that come into the annex building to buy tickets that live in Tell City at times.
You're talking about tags?
I'm sorry, yes, tax.
Tax.
I can adapt to change. I know that there will have to be money put into both places. There's already gonna have to be money put into Branchville, absolutely, and that would be fine. We could be out there the days that they're open, because they're only open 3 days during the week and 1 day on the weekend. It does not matter to me. I just want to know what the plan is, because it's difficult to know what's going on.
Mhm.
The main office being at the annex means, that's where the safe is, that's where the money is, that's where all of those things are. If I'm at Hamilton, is that where the safe is, where the money is? I don't particularly
So
know that.
what do you have money you collect? I'm just thinking,
We have
people
our-
bring checks in or whatever to pay, they probably pay cash,
Right.
but then that'll stop, other than any entity that hasn't.
We have tags, we have our $38 fees for the people that rent the trailers. We have.
Can we, we changed here at the county where they just electronically transferred that, and we got away from all the checks and all
And that
that,
would be
so.
fine too, so there's things to think,
Yeah.
I mean, that, and
And then I'm
Petty
thinking,
cash.
we don't want to keep the office open exclusively for selling trash tags. That would be just too much of a burden to have somebody staff it for that, so we'll have to consider that.
yeah, I mean, those are all things to look at. I'm not saying no, that that's a horrible idea, but I would have to have.
Yeah, ideally there, if you're on one of those sites, then in the event no one's coming through the gate, it allows you to do some of your clerical work. And as
So,
long as they're linked together, you could be at either site, carry out your tasks you need to do,
right,
both you and Hannah. I mean, so it,
Yeah,
So you
both
had that
sides, they would upgrade
Right.
to the computers
Flexibility.
to,
yes.
and get
Whatever's
some
needed.
decent
And if
offices
that's
rather
what we're
than,
gonna do, I need to know, and I need to have, so that we can come up with a plan.
Right.
If that's what you guys wanna do, okay, let me know, let me be part of this, so we can figure out what we need to do and how we wanna do it. It's gonna mean probably more computers or another laptop.
well, you wanna get rid of them 25-year-old computers
Oh,
you got to
yes, ma'am.
start with.
Yes,
you can
ma'am.
recycle them.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, that,
That's what I'm saying, if both sites were to have someone there, you or Hannah, either one, you'd have updated computer systems where you could do your work while you're there.
absolutely. It's not, it doesn't mean it can't be done, but if that's what we're going to do, please, and let's work together and make this work and make it doable.
What does the rest of the board think about that?
I think it's something we need to look into and get prices and quotes on if it's what we
You've
decide to
got Kenny
do.
Simpson coming out already to, you could, if you wanted something different, besides a yard barn, or what I call a yard barn, or what have you.
We did discuss moving out a little bit, that office a little bit bigger, and then adding another sort of office.
Mhm.
And, he knows what Hamilton looks like because he's been there himself and where the bathroom is, and it would mean some changes, and it's not like it's not doable. It is doable.
I mean, I think it would be an upgrade for the solid waste, make it more streamlined, make it more,
There's
More
benefits.
efficient.
There's
Yeah.
there's
We're looking
benefits to doing it, yes.
right. So.
Randy, you might have some experience with that. What about like construction trailers? You see them on job sites. They
Pardon?
work for something like that?
I mean,
Construction
a
trailers.
trailer that's set up there, they're self-contained. So, I mean, they have your heating system, your water, your sewer, your restroom facilities. I mean, I don't think what her renovation, hopefully,
Well, I
will
think
cost
it's gonna
anywhere
cost.
near what it would cost for a
They're
construction
trying
trailer,
to get some ideas.
unless we
Might
found
cost.
one on the cheap.
Fine.
Because a lot of times after the state gets done with them, they're a little ragged, but at the same time, if you just, put new flooring down or whatever,
Mhm.
they're still, serviceable. So it might be something that we
And
could
if
consider.
Hamilton, if there's a chance of getting more property with the Hamilton site, that would mean. I mean,
I actually know somebody that has one for sale.
So we might,
She
I
runs a
mean,
company.
you're gonna have to also, you wanna get your internet, your computers. You need to be able to have something where you can access your cameras and potentially do some printouts, some license plates or whatever. And
Mhm.
so we're gonna have to have the functionality of an office. And if we have it at both locations where they can do whatever work's required, then that allows them to go to the location, no one walks in the door and allows them to continue to work.
And to be
and so-
honest, I can watch more of this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
And the cameras will also tell us so that when we have the constituent that calls us up and says it wasn't open, we can look at the cameras and say, well, it was or it wasn't. So that's one of our main things, because we get a lot of
Yeah.
concerned citizens when the door's not open. And
I think so.
So Kenny is coming out.
He
When?
said probably next week, but he knows I'll be there Saturday. He doesn't know if he'll be on Saturday, but I told him to call me if I can meet him out there. Give me an hour and I'll be there.
I will call CNC, the outfit that I know that she does have one for sale,
yeah, that's
construction
See what they
trailer.
would sell for.
because I worked out of it. So
And it might, if the cost gets a little high,
I don't think they're as high as you think they are. She, it's not huge, but you don't need anything that's huge.
No.
And it does have a restroom in it.
Something to look at, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
check it out.
And I will be contacting general contractors
Mhm.
after I talk.
Kenny has to do all the sketches.
And I can.
only thing on a trailer, that might be a question for Kenny.
I don't have
That'd be handicapped, so.
It's just a good coffee.
Mm-hmm.
That means we build a ramp.
Well, they can, as of right now, out at Branchville, they can just come in the overhead door, if not in the office because of that. They can open the overhead door and decent, I mean,
Right.
it's getting warm enough unless it's really.
What Randy's talking about, in the event you brought one of these construction trailers out, they said about
It'd have to have. it'd
2.5
have to be
feet,
ADA.
3 feet up off the
Yeah.
ground, 2.5 probably, and you'll have to have a proper slope on the entrance portion of it.
And that's anywhere you go.
Are there any other discussion on that issue?
We'll check on all this, Chris. Let you know for the next meeting.
Okay, new business.
She just gave us update on the
Yeah,
branch.
she already did that.
Anything else on new business?
No, sir. I think, well, Mr.
Yeah, Chris.
Yes. I asked the items agenda, the solid waste district operations. On more than one occasion, I'm kind of glad Cindy's here because she's brought it to this board's attention, my attention, probably a half a dozen or a dozen times. I've done some research on what the requirements are of a solid waste district and to have. And I've kind of written up some comments because I don't want it to come off and I don't want to miss anything. But I think there's some options that we need to explore as a solid waste board and maybe as the county council and the county commissioners need to consider that I think could save the taxpayers some money. These are options that I have. So I'm going to kind of read this here, and it's in the form of a motion. And if you need a copy of it for the minutes, I'll make sure you get it to you. It's quite wordy. But so I would like to make a motion to the commissioners and the county council for the consideration and vote to repeal Perry County Ordinance Title 5, subsection 50.20, and dissolve the Perry County Solid Waste Management District, or vote to consider becoming a member of a joint solid waste management district with one or more surrounding counties allowable under Indiana Code 1321 3-1. If dissolved or joined with a multi-district, Perry County can save taxpayers money by eliminating or reducing the solid waste fee either completely or significantly based on the commissioners and council's vote to do so. This option and vote by the council and the commissioners would not only save taxpayers money, it would also save the entire county and cities and large amounts of edit funds each year. Further, if the county dissolves the solid waste district and the fees, and later in the future determines that it is needed or wanted, it would give taxpayers and county elected officials a clear and clean path to develop a new fee structure that is fair, cost-effective, and efficient for all taxpayers. So basically what I'm saying that is I would like to have the county council and commissioners consider either dissolving it or looking at a regional thing. And a lot of training that I've been going to, they talk about regionalism and how rural communities such as Perry County, Tell City, we need to look at regionalism. And I think that would be an opportunity to cut our costs. You could, I mean, that would be up to the commissioners to research this, I think, because it's ultimately theirs and the council's decision. But the cost savings that could occur, it could be half. I don't know. But I had some discussions with Spencer County, and they receive a lot of recyclables from other surrounding counties. They are a very busy operation. If you look at their website, they accept the same things we accept for the most part. Their tags, I think, are $1, not $1.50, but they have multiple sites throughout the county. I mean, I bet there was probably close to 8 or 10 different pickup drop-off sites or whatever. And this was all in Spencer County. So that is my motion on the floor. If you need me to read it, I will, but I don't know if there's going to be a second, but
I just want to say one thing. We are not part of Spencer County in the regional.
that's correct.
We are to the east.
Right.
Is who we are associated with.
But we could join any if they decide to dissolve or whatever, I think. So,
And Chris, before I would be interested in even accept a motion, I'd like to see some of your numbers. One thing you said, dissolving the solid waste. Obviously, if we no longer offer that service, that's going to be the savings or the cost of operating it. I mean,
Correct.
that's a given. That's whatever we put into it, it would no longer be an expense. We'd have to consider the fact of what, if anything, we're going to provide to the public. I know at the Branchville site, maybe we shouldn't be in the household collection business, but in that part of the county, there's a lot of people, and Randy, I'm sure, gets a lot of that's a useful entity out there for those people to dispose of it. And one thing we don't want is our community to find themselves with a lot of rubbish and stuff on the roads and streets and that. So that's one thing to consider. The other thing is, I know that Spencer County pays a substantial amount more. They collect it through their property taxes, what they do, because they do have a lot more site openings than what we do. I'm not opposed to exploring, discussing any options that makes it more efficient, delivers the service at a lower cost. I don't necessarily want the county to go down a path of we look like a third world country with trash laying everywhere. So that would
We
be
also
my
have to
concern.
be responsible for doing HHW collection. That is part of
Mhm.
the law, that we have to provide collection of HHW.
Household waste.
Yes.
And Branchville, like you said, and I'm sure Randy knows also, Branchville has sometimes more visitors than Canton,
Yes, ma'am.
a lot of times each month. I mean, it's just unreal. And I'm so glad the people out in that end of the county have it.
We have people that come from the other county above, come down to ours because it's closer.
well, the one thing I would like to point out, there are more than probably 1 or 2 private haulers in the county that pick up trash at people's home through a trash hopper collection system or what have you. If they would decide to do away with the trash collection system at these sites, that could spur economic development where those businesses could expand, have to employ more people. You would collect more edit dollars then. And that might take the burden of the $45 off everybody.
Well, speaking freely,
Yeah, that's fine. No, this is discussion on it. Yeah.
because I've been out there, when I first started, I spent a lot of time out at Branchville and talking to people, and especially the people that are retired. Got rid of them because it was $100 or more a month. And that is why they use the facility out there at Branchville and are out there with their tubs and have it all separated because they cannot afford, especially the, I want to say elderly, people my age and up and even younger that have kids that are like, I'll pay the $45 gladly and I'll recycle everything and have 1 or 2 bags a month of garbage because I cannot afford a hopper, even younger people that have children.
Sure.
So that's why it's different for Perry County, people in northern part of the county. I've said this several times, and I'm not trying to take away from people that feel differently I live in Tell City.
Yeah.
I'm not taking away anything from anybody that lives in Hamilton. Everyone's gonna look at things differently.
Sure.
And my responsibility is to talk to everyone and find out what they feel about it.
Mhm.
I know that people are aggravated about Branchville right now.
Yeah.
Believe me, I know. And I have apologized, and I will apologize and keep doing that. But the people that live in the northern part of this county need that.
Yes, they do.
They cannot afford, I can't afford a dumpster for $50 a month. I can't afford one for $75. I know that economic development is a good thing. But I cannot. If I lived out there, I would separate everything like the way they do and go buy an orange tag for $1.50 and be grateful. I recycle and do as best I can. But to say that removing that is something good, it's not. And the
Yeah.
people that use Derby, I know how fast Derby, because I get the phone calls. I'm the one that sends the driver from Hamilton out there to fill it up. I know how fast that trailer fills up. I'm the one that researches it better than anybody. And I'm not trying to be sarcastic to anybody in this room, but I know how fast the garbage gets taken out to Branchville more than anyone in this room or anyone sitting in this county. I do.
As you should.
That's right.
But
I know how much garbage we collect out there. I know how much glass. Banton Tavern used to bring us their beer bottles.
Mm.
I'm the one that has the knowledge.
Mhm.
okay,
And I might not be the one that everyone likes, but I know. And I'm telling you, the people that live out there need it.
okay.
And that's our responsibility.
Well,
Since the end of November, though, when this came up, our constituents are all opposed to the $45. And we provide a pickup. Tell City provides a pickup. You don't even have to, just put it out. We'll pick it up for you, free. But there's objections to that. Our constituents are
Sir,
all over us.
it's 12 cents a day. It's
I
12.
know that. I know that.
And what I say to people is, I pay it.
Well,
And
then,
before I sat down and looked at this and broke it down and how much it is,
yeah. It's
I was a
like
little aggravated, but you know what? I'm not now.
it's a
And if
breakfast
people
sandwich
sat
a
back
week, a
and saw
month.
how much we're getting and how much we take back, and they sat back and really realized it, and realized how much garbage is being taken out, we don't have to take solid waste. I don't have to. I can just do recycling.
Mhm.
That is a perk, as far as I'm concerned, that we take solid waste. Because Mr. Cole and I, we picked up bag for bag, and I appreciated that he did that. Because usually my employees and I have to do it ourselves, the people at the legal dump. But he stood there and took every bag with me. And we walked it all the way through and put it in the compactor. People think they're not open, we'll just leave it. But we don't have to take solid waste, I'll tell you that right now. I can just do recycling.
Chris, you said something
I
about,
agree with you 100%. It's
But
like,
$45, people think it's a bad amount.
I agree.
Try going to other counties and they base it on your
I know it.
property value.
That's
And I'm
what I'm
sorry,
saying,
it's $45.
but the
We lowered it to
proposal-
36.
The proposal that we're gonna have to bring up eventually is doing away with the $45.
And let people see what happens. That's okay. Get rid of it. We
Yeah.
don't have it. And then see what happens. And then people are gonna be mad. And I can say this, people are gonna complain about something all the time.
If we could put it on property taxes, that would, or on the water bill, showing that it's like, what, is it almost 3 cents a day?
12 cents.
Pardon?
I think it was 12 cents, she said.
It's
Well, that's right,
12 cents a day.
12 cents a day. It equals like one breakfast sandwich at McDonald's a month.
Yeah.
Or 10 cigarettes a month. Piddly, but they're all over this $45
I know,
because it's been brought up that we should get rid of it
yeah.
at the end of November
But
yet.
the thing is,
Make a
we have to
decision right
take
now.
HHW, and that's one thing we do.
Yeah.
We take HHW, hazardous waste, but they don't complain about that. And that's what we do. The other stuff that we do is to help and help the environment. So how about if we do it that way? How about if I put a sign out that says, by law, we're supposed to take HHW, because we're supposed to have that. We're taking your solid waste as a perk. You want to pay $1.50 a bag? I'll take it. So for $45 a year, now it's 36 if it's paid according to the way it's going to pass. For $36, you get to come and bring your aerosol cans and all those other things, but you can also, as a perk, bring your garbage bag. And you can also bring your glass, you can bring your cardboard, and that will help pay for all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to pick at something and pick at it that way, you better be prepared for the whole circle of the reality of what all is going on and what all you're getting. Because I can pick one thing and just focus on that, but that's not the reality of what Perry County Recycling Department does. I get people in my face all the time. Trust me, I do.
You have
It's
one
not-
job that I would not, I'd
And,
go on
and
the
it's not
system.
one answer. If you live in Tell City and you get curbside pickup, you're that. But if you live in Tell City and you live outside, I got another answer for you. You live in Camerton, I got one answer for you. I cannot give one person one answer. It's not. It's not easy, but, okay, we've supplied paint for people that want to come and get paint to do projects. That's something we do as a kindness for people.
Right. Thank you.
You know, I
You
mean,
validated my
it
feelings.
was done before me. This isn't me.
Right.
It's something that people have tried to do to help the community. And we sit back and people want to complain and say, you know, it's horrible.
Yeah, like
You
you're
know,
getting the money.
Oh,
Chris-
believe me.
Chris, you said something about it would expand economic development. The people that pick up our trash every week are from Kentucky. How's that going to make economic development over here?
There's more than one. I'm
They're the
assuming-
biggest one in the county.
Maybe they would want to open a facility over here. I don't know. Or maybe they want to open a transfer station. That's just why I wanted to have the commissioners consider either repeal, which I don't think would be a good idea, but the joint part, I do feel could save the taxpayers money. And that's what I'm looking at doing. I do. But we have this option to do it. And by doing that, we may be able to list some of the restrictions, some of the things that we have, and give us a chance to reorganize and become more efficient and save money overall. Because you talked about your offices and needing to expand here, expand there, or do this. We don't really have a good master plan to do anything. We just kind of, let's go fix this, or let's move the office here, let's move it there.
That's what we're trying to do, get a plan to do this.
But
Is
now,
the
at the
motion,
beginning of
is the
the year.
motion being made?
I made a motion,
for
yes,
Exploration?
to have the county commissioners and the council, because that's under the ordinance, but that's why they was included in that, but to either vote to, I'll reread it. And I would like to make a motion for the commissioners and the council for their consideration, vote to repeal the Perry County Ordinance Title 5, subsection 50.20, and dissolve the Perry County Solid Waste Management District, or vote, and this is for them to vote on, to consider becoming a member of a joint solid waste management district with one or more of the surrounding counties available under Indiana Code 1321-3-1.
That needs to be two different motions, Chris, because you don't have a motion with an or. So if you want to make a motion to dissolve
And/or.
the solid waste district, that would be one. The other one would be to explore,
Well, I'm not making that motion is actually, the motion is to have that for the commissioners to consider one of those two options, not for us to vote on one of those two options. That is the motion,
For the commissioners to consider.
for the commissioners to consider it. It would give them the opportunity.
Well, the
I'll second
commissioners would have to.
They would decide, yeah, we don't want to do
have
it.
to go
They could say,
either way.
we want to leave it as is, or we want to explore that option. That's on them, and if they want to do it, that's fine.
and I
But
think
they're the ones that have to repeal it, where anything, we can't. We don't have that power, that authority.
as a commissioner, we'd have to have substantially more information.
And you'd have to research that. I mean, that's just what I brought to the table. That's a solution. And I like, there's a problem, I like to bring a solution. It may not be the right one, but I think it gives people options. And like I said, I'm just trying to look at saving money. We're no longer required to have it.
Would you like to, put a committee together to do some research to collect some data so that it can be presented to the council and commissioners to get some actual
As a county.
funding numbers and things like that? So, because somebody's going to have to do it, and I think it should,
Well, I think,
the proposal should come from the solid waste group. It's, here's what it would be, here's how it would come together. Because, with the vision, whatever you're proposing and the dollars associated with it, and then have them, both entities discuss and consider it.
I would say that would work if we had an advisory committee, but we don't. And that would be more of a duty responsibility of that advisory committee, unfortunately. But I did make that motion and,
I did second.
okay, well, Smokey seconded it.
There's a motion on the floor, actually two motions.
I want to read it back to me again to make sure I understand. It's just suggestion to consider.
It's just suggestion for the commissioners and the council to consider these two options. I would like to make a motion to the members of the commissioners and the council for their consideration and vote to repeal the Perry County Ordinance Title 5, subsection 50.20, and dissolve the Perry County Solid Waste Management District. or vote and consider becoming a member of a joint solid waste management district under one or more surrounding counties allowable under Indiana Code 1321-3-1. It's just to consider, keyword consider. It is not saying pull it. It's giving them the opportunity, the power to take it back, look into it, and come back. Yes, we want to look at it further or not, or no, we don't.
Well, my question would be, as a commissioner then, would be, what's the recommendation of this board?
Well-
Dissolution or to join another county? Because I always ask that when I'm there, is I ask, what would your suggestion be? Because that's what this board is made up to do. It's made up to oversee the solid waste district. It's a group of cities and county elected officials. Our task is to look into how we might bring efficiencies, provide services. And as a board, we need to decide what we would recommend to the commissioners and or council as to what we might pursue. I mean, I think that's our job as a solid waste board.
If we'd begun the process like last spring, instead of bringing it up end of November, now we've got new members.
Let me bring clarity to that. And then I'll go back to, you weren't here, Mike, during the early part of it, but Chris brought up the fact of how much the motels were being charged by the room, and he said it was unfair. And so I looked into how these charges were all put together, and there's really not any clarity as to how and why it was charged the way it was. That's what started it, and then I wanted to find a printout. That's kind of difficult. The equipment's old, it's kind of dated, and the lists are a little shady. And so because we have $201,000 additional revenue in 2024 in the edit account, and we could cut out the administrative stamps, the need to mail the cards, we realized that we could cut the amount down to around $300,000 that we collected. We could take the additional revenue collected from the taxpayers in this community, $201,000, apply it towards that $300,000, and each entity would have to come up with a nominal amount additional, and we would just pay for it. That didn't say that this board wouldn't look at other opportunities as far as how we might restructure, how we might no longer take certain waste streams, and we may streamline, make it a little more efficiency. That wasn't involved with it. It was simply taking the additional taxes paid by the taxpayer, utilizing them to pay this fee. We would then continue to have the solid waste service, picking up different household wastes and everything, and at the same time relieve the burden from the taxpayer. That's all it amounted to, and anything beyond that is something we should consider going forward. If, we decide through studies that we want to dissolve the district, we can do that. That's what this board actually, and it would make a recommendation accordingly. All we were doing was saying this would simplify it, because we're still going to go, if we would just leave it as it is, it's an unfair tax, in my opinion, to the hotels, charging them for every room they have when the nursing home gets one bill. It just does not seem fair. Sorting through those details, it's going to take some time. And this would give us an opportunity to give people a local break because we got additional revenue. So, in each entity, that's why we decided that
Each entity.
some entities choose not to participate, then that's fine. The county has decided to pay for the rest
So
of it.
other entities were involved in the creation of the thing that we're gonna have to vote on? This was Tell City informed
No,
before?
it was
the
a
end of November?
suggestion, and no city or other entities required to participate. It's not a requirement. It's just an offer. And if they can or they cannot choose, it doesn't matter. But we're really not doing anything other than what we've done in the past. So it's just the source of payment is changing. But there was no, real detailed plan or anything other than that. And I'm not opposed whatsoever at looking at alternatives. And getting the input from the public as to what they actually want.
I'm glad to hear that. I mean, I didn't think anybody would be, but I'm glad to hear that.
And also you could, we could reach out to other counties, see if they'd even be interested. If they're not interested, we're just going down
Yeah.
a dead end road.
Yeah. And that's why it's just for consideration. I think I'm trying to get the ball rolling to try to make us more efficient and try to save some money. That's all I'm trying to do here. And, I think it's important that we look at that cost. I know there's a lot of people that have that $45 bill that they say, I don't use it. Why am I paying it? Good. I agree. I would agree to that to some extent too. But I mean, just looking at ways, trying to look out for the taxpayers and saving some money. Those that needed to use it, maybe they could pay the $45 and use it. That's fine. That's fair.
We pay for police protection,
Yeah.
but we don't require it. Luckily, we don't need to be protected, but it's there if we need it.
And two, I think maybe Randy made the comment that some, out in the county, I'm old enough to remember driving or riding with my parents and seeing trash.
Mhm.
Different sites. I don't want to go back to that. And
Right.
I really believe solid waste has helped that over the years, where people can have an option to take care of.
Well, and I'm not saying the disbandment of it is the best option. Is this an option I put out there along with combining or, being jointly with the other separate, maybe a surrounding county to try to save some money?
Because that is one of the things we do. We do get phone calls about trash dump chairs, couches,
Mm-hmm.
and that is one of the things we do.
Well,
We do go
and,
out and do that.
and Chris, you're familiar with the mess we cleaned up.
No,
And I'm gonna call it Shepherd Hatchery Road because I'm old.
Sycamore.
But that was an absolute mess. In conjunction, the highway department sent their equipment out there. Cannleton was there, the solid
But we
waste was
did,
there.
right,
I
and we
was
get a
out
phone
there.
call.
And yeah, we
Last
cleaned
year
up
alone, we had
tires, couches, beds. I mean, it wasn't.
And I had 3 phone calls from residents out in the county that recliners and couches have been just dumped along in front of their house. At no cost to anyone, other than our department. We went out there, drove out there, sent 2 guys out there, they went out and picked them up. So it wasn't like it was sitting there more than a day. The guy said, I went out there, it was out there, the next day we went and got it.
So,
Now, that didn't cost anybody, we paid for it, it would have been a fee for someone to drop that off. That is one of the services that we provide.
Okay.
And going back to the hotels and the nursing homes, I have said it would be a good option to have a 3-tier system or so. Homes, small business, someone on Main Street, like Lulu's, should not pay what Wapaka or AT&T. We've talked about doing that. That was something that got dropped. There's nothing wrong with doing that and looking at something different. I come to these meetings and it's to get my bills paid, to get my people paid, to do these things. And sometimes it's difficult to talk because I'm privy to more information than what I say. And when I know that there's people that have ulterior motives and ulterior plans, it's difficult to sit here in meetings and know that there are other plans in the works that other people have mentioned. And this is probably too much for me to say in a meeting, and I'm sorry. But I know there's other plans going on. What you guys decide to do is what you decide to do. This is not my pony. This is yours. I'm trying to do the best job I can. If this is dissolved, if this goes to another place, you will do what you want to do. But when I come here, it is with the best intentions to represent the people of this county and to know that there's people that have another plan for other things is disheartening. So you guys have all the power and decisions, and I'm sorry to say that I'm just doing the best I can.
I would agree. I think you are doing your job and trying, I appreciate your work.
What's come up, we want to encourage recycling and decrease trash. That's my goal. I agree with you 100% on the 12 cents a day being trivial to anybody except the homeless. But to get it by cutting the $45 and completely eliminating it, forcing us to finance it some other way, No, I'm glad to hear you say, we need it. It's $45 well spent.
Okay. We got a motion on the floor. I need a second.
I seconded it 20 minutes ago.
Smokey said he seconded.
Smokey, you seconded?
I did.
Okay.
So it's just to consider, right? To
Yeah.
For
consider.
consideration.
All right.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Are there any other discussions?
And just going into it, Randy, I'm going to be opposed to it because I think we're trying to shift the responsibility of this board to the council and commissioners, but go on. That's all I want to say about it. That's my reason.
Okay.
Because I think this board should make those, do the research and come up with a plan. So,
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign.
I,
I think we need a motion on hands.
I
All,
may.
all four, say aye.
Aye.
I mean, okay, one,
Aye.
Smokey,
Yes.
two,
Aye.
three. Okay, that's three. And, against it.
I,
And that's, the reason I said no, I would like to do a little bit more research. I'd like to talk to some of the other counties before we move any further to put my name on a,
and I'm with you there. It's simply, we just need to do it. We need to do the research, see whether any counties would welcome us,
No.
what actually we could work out with them.
No.
If anything that comes out of this, I hope that does, because that's what I want to see done. I want to see the ball rolling where we're looking at saving money.
I know the person in Spencer County really well. I might
Mhm.
pick her
I had
brain.
discussions with them.
And somebody might know this in the crowd. I really think Du Bois County, it comes out that the council approves solid waste. Does anybody know that? Did any research? Because I talked to them one time over at the fair at Du Bois County, and they did not have a fee, and it wasn't on their taxation. It was coming from the council through budget time. So that's sort of what Randy's proposal is. That's sort of how they do it, or they did in the past. So I'm not sure in the last couple of years, so.
You asked Gary Morton about it. He said that 92 of 94 Indiana counties have it on their property taxes.
Yeah.
92 out of 94 counties.
Well, it also, I mean, we have some counties in Indiana that have actual landfills, and they charge a tipping fee, and that funds their solid waste. We don't have a landfill here, though.
Okay,
That property taxes would solve the problem of the home paying.
One of the
Just as
problems with
much
property
as-
taxes, Mike, is that state statute determines how much we can actually raise them. This year, the county council raised them to the maximum amount, just trying to balance their budget. The city's got the same restraints on property taxes. Goes back, I think, to the Bowen administration when they put a freeze on them, and then the state actually tells us the maximum levy. So property taxes are gonna always be difficult. Because you just
yeah,
can't raise
it'd have to go on a vote, I believe, on about it to be put back on.
Probably.
They can be put on as a white iron.
Yeah, but it's not a property tax. It's basically, if you put it on your property tax as a line item, it'd be like collecting $45. You just wouldn't be sending the card out. That's what it would be.
Right, you
Yeah.
I think it's something we need to look at. I know we're up against the council meeting here right now. We'll do some more research, Chris,
I appreciate it.
and I'll
Thank you.
talk to the individual in Central County, so, if they'd even be interested, so. Next up is public comments. Anybody got anything? Not, the next scheduled meeting was February 22nd.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion,
Second.
I need a second, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Sign you.
Do we have to sign these or just Randy?
No, we all have signed right
Yeah,
here.
we all have signed it.
And
I tried. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
That's not mine.
So, everybody leave, you gotta sign your next one. You gotta sign
Is this supposed to go with it?
Yeah. Mike, move it.
It's for the financial.
Separate motion. Smoke, you don't leave unless you sign.
We're not leaving.
I know.
So what's the plan, we have a plan going on? Can you say it quickly? Plan, best time plan going on?